Live at noon, this is 13 News Now.
Hurricane Maria continues its destructive path through the Caribbean. Thanks for watching 13 News Now. I'm Ashley Smith. Andre and Lucy have the afternoon off. Now, the storm is carrying 125-mile-per-hour winds as it moves northward, and airlines plan to resume flights to Puerto Rico as early as today, and that's after Maria left the Commonwealth without power. Now, FEMA is also sending help today with generators, water, and portable shelters. ABC's Diane Macedo has the latest.
Hurricane Maria still on the move, slamming Turks and Caicos and the Bahamas this morning after wreaking havoc in the Dominican Republic and leaving a path of death and destruction across the Caribbean. In Dominica, at least 15 people were killed. In Puerto Rico, the entire island is still without power and the damage catastrophic.
Now that we're south of town, we're seeing some damage that actually looks almost like a tornado came through. Clearly, this is the path of the eye when it came through.
ABC's Rob Marciano is in Puerto Rico, where Hurricane Maria made landfall, and the situation growing dire.
We need diesel for the generator. We need light. We need water.
Maria Ortiz taking ABC News to a nursing home for now running on this generator, and inside, these vulnerable victims, frail and dehydrated.
We can't let them die. We can't let them die.
Authorities say search crews are working around the clock, and overnight, the Coast Guard released this video showing ongoing rescues. The Navy is in the U.S. Virgin Islands evacuating residents where the only electricity there is also from generators. And more help is on the way. FEMA is sending generators, water, and portable shelters to Puerto Rico, and airlines, well, they're hoping to resume flights there perhaps as early as today. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
Saw there again, Elizabeth Herr reporting, not Diane Macedo. But now we move to the storm. It is making its turn to the north, and a couple models show it is getting closer to the east coast, but most have Maria staying out to sea. So Tim is staying very busy with the tropics, and Tim, it looks like Maria may weaken when it goes north.
And that's right. It's going to move into an area where the ocean temperatures are much cooler. That's because Jose moved over the same area just about a week ago, so a lot of the heat has already been used up there. But as it does travel north, that's pretty confident in terms of the forecast, heading northwards over the next 48 to 72 hours. It's its interaction with Jose and an incoming cold front that's going to cause some issues here and how far out to sea it eventually ends up going. All right, right now that eye kind of clouded up there on satellite imagery, but it is about 55 miles away from the Turks and Caicos, sparing a direct hit. But these are the same areas that got destroyed by Irma, and still within the area of hurricane force winds that's extended out about 70 miles earlier this morning. So despite the eye not making landfall there, still some big damage going on there, tending to structures that were left after Irma. Category 3 storm as of the 11 a.m. update, 125-mile-an-hour winds sustained, moves north for the next 2 to 3 days, then encounters the wake from Jose and starts to weaken, eventually down to a Category 1 storm by the time it ends up somewhere between Wilmington, North Carolina and Bermuda, out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Again, that looks far out to sea, but this is a 450-mile wide storm, so even if it does track right down the middle of this forecast path here, the outermost bands could make it into the inland areas like we saw with Jose. So we're not out of the woods completely yet, but then notice a hard turn to the right as a cold front, a trough, comes on through and sweeps it out to sea. We'll talk about what that means for your long-term forecast coming up. For now, we'll get back over to Ashley.
All right, Tim, thank you. Well, the death toll continues to climb across the Caribbean in the wake of Hurricane Maria, especially on the island of Dominica. So take a look at these stunning images showing the devastation there. Nearly everything destroyed, roads ripped apart, huge trees uprooted, and debris now litters the streets. At least 15 people are dead. Many still are missing. Now, we also got word, though, late yesterday that an American medical student reported missing is safe. And Virginia Beach-based Task Force 2 is saving lives in Puerto Rico. They sent 13 News Now pictures of rescues in San Juan. Now, the storm surge is causing dangerous flooding throughout the city streets. The rescue team had to use inflatable boats to get to victims. In total, the task force saved 10 people yesterday. Now, the Coast Guard is getting in on relief efforts as well. They're taking supplies to Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Here's a picture from this morning before the crew flew out from Miami. This makes 4 hurricanes that forces have had to respond to in the past month alone. Now, closer to home, officials in the Outer Banks are looking into the death of a surfer. Someone found the 66-year-old man floating face down with a surfboard attached to his ankle yesterday, just north of Rodanthe. Now, bystanders tried to revive him, but shortly after, emergency responders pronounced him dead. And this area has seen some really strong rip currents, with Jose hanging around the northeast. Now, we're always tracking the tropics at 13 News Now. For the latest on every tropical storm, get the 13 News Now app and just hit the weather tile.